So I am here, guys. I'll be there in a second. Just turning these radios off. I thought I'd bank this video now about the Essex boys. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that still believe that the guys that were in prison for it didn't do it. And I'm just going to give you my opinion. That's all it is, my opinion. And then I'll tell you why I've got the opinion I have. Let's go right back to the beginning. Obviously, they get murdered. And then let's skip forward from the murder to them geezers in prison. Just been sent to prison. Nobody then is screaming that they're innocent, like they do in the public domain. Obviously nobody knows about any film because there's no film being released. And let's skip forward a bit more to Colton Leach's book, which wasn't called The Essex Boys. It was called, what was it called? I forget what it was called, but it weren't called The Essex Boys or nothing like that. Nothing to even do like that. It was basically, as you got Rise of the Foot Soldier, that kind of storyline. That was basically Colton Leach's book, which might have been called Muscle, but I'm not 100% sure, but I do know what I'm talking about. And basically, and still nobody's screaming they didn't do it at that point because there's no film. There's just Colton Leach with a book called Muscle about his life, like a bit like Rise of the Foot Soldier. Well, the same as Rise of the Foot Soldier. And he had a bit in that book about the Essex boys. But still, they weren't called the Essex boys in the book. And then Bernard O'Mahony, well, he gets involved with the film, and this is where it all stems down to, really, is they're all bullshitters to feather their pockets with money. Colton Leach is, and Bernard. Bernard's the worst one. He's still going now with the old storyline. Do you know what I mean? Where there's a bullshit storyline and a few books and the movies, there's money, man. And what they did, what did they do? I think Colton sold the rights to his book, or Rise of the Foot Soldier, as you sort of know, as we know it. He sold all of it. That's why he's got the ump. Now, because people have made a lot of money, especially Bernard. But it's all bullshit, guys. Why do people want to believe a guy that's not even from Essex, man? He talks with a Brummie accent. And basically, when they rewrote the book, Rise of the Foot Soldier, I think there's three endings to it, isn't there? I think one of them's they get led up Workhouse Lane by the old Bill and get shot. Well, that, you can rule that out for a start. The police are not. If the police wanted to wipe somebody out, you just disappear. Basically. And then what was the other theory? Was how it went down with the two that were convicted. I forget what the other one was. There was another one. But that's when the fascination with the public began, when they watched the movie. Which puts doubts in people's minds as to whether they did it or didn't. But they did do it, because when they got arrested, guys, they didn't say nothing. They didn't say a word until they got to court and were actually on trial for murder. You know, I've grown up in criminal circles. I know for 100%. If you get pulled in for a murder, guys, they never given any alibis or anything in the interview. Didn't have a word until they got to court. Now, if you're pulled in, right, for a murder, which is pretty heavy stuff, do you know what I mean? You would be giving your, if you was innocent, you'd be giving your alibis in the police station to the police, even if you're a big time Charlie criminal. Do you know what I mean? You would be giving, and if anybody disagrees with me, do come on and say, but you would be giving your account there and then. And basically, also, the cell site evidence, they're all in the area. They're all in the area making calls to each other. Including Darren Nichols, the Supergrass. Now, you trying to tell me that's just a coincidence? Because I'm not buying that. And another thing I've heard him say is, oh, why didn't they just admit they did it? They'd have been out years ago. That's because, I think it was because Jack had obviously lied to his parents and his people. And they stuck by that. Yeah, I just think, I do believe, though, that the two people that were convicted for shooting him did shoot him. And I also believe that Darren Nichols, the Supergrass, was probably is telling the truth to a degree. I believe that he could have had more of a part in it, where he obviously ain't going to give that up, because that would have put him more in it. Do you get what I'm saying? But I believe that he's half telling the truth. You couldn't invent something like that, man. You couldn't sit there. You couldn't just, because he's got pulled over with a load of puff in the car or something in the boot or whatever he had, and then they pulled him in, and that's when he's bubbled them up. But you couldn't dream that up and make all that up, and then have the cell site evidence which marries up with what he's saying. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't make that up. You couldn't dream that up like that. The possibilities of dreaming that up like that is very, very minute, literally. What else is there? Also, the only two people that I think that I've ever seen on like YouTube who ain't bullshitting, who ain't got a motive, it's probably Craig Rolfe's brother on here who does his videos. I think he's 100% telling the truth. And then you've got the girl that's just started releasing her videos, Sasha, who's the blonde barmaid in a Dispatches video. But her name was, well, her name is Ellen, blonde girl. Quite good video, well, very good videos she makes. I've just started watching it. Well, I've watched them all. She ain't got no reason to bullshit. So I think she's kind of telling the truth completely. But everyone else you look at's got a motive for bullshitting. It's quite mad, really. And guys, I'm just gonna open my energy drink. Oh. Very windy in Kent. Also very cold in Kent all day long. That's it, Brian. Who goes by the name Brian Richardson. That's Craig's brother. That's like another thing that's portrayed wrong. Like in the movie, why? Because Colton Leach was jealous of Craig for having a close relationship with Tony, because he kind of took him away from Colton. That's why Rise of the Foot Soldier portrays Craig Rolfe was just a gopher. But really, apparently, well, yeah, it's just the truth. He wasn't at all. He was quite like a capable guy, do you know what I mean? And they just wrote him into the movie like that. And that's the reason why, because Colton was jealous. It's mad when you look at the whole big picture. But those people that say, oh, it wasn't them, well, then who was it? Do you know what I mean? Nobody says that. And also, after this amount of time, look at all these years that have gone by. Do you not think if it was completely wrong, someone would have bubbled the real people up by now? The criminal world would have given them people up, and they haven't. Do I think Essex police did a good job? No. I think they did an appalling job. I still don't think they feared them up at all. Yeah. Also, what's his name? He's quite good. He's quite good videos about it. Lee, what's his name? The big bouncer. Lee Chapman, who worked around the security of all of that. But I think he was at Hollywood's in Ipswich. That's where what's that other guy's channel? I forget his name. Well, he's the geezer on Rise of the Foot Soldier who plays Tony Tucker. I know him as a promoter. I forget his name now. He promoted Garage Nation and stuff. I weren't into that, but some of my mates was. I went to sort of raves for all that. Why's this gone off? So my little heater's gone off. Terry Turbo, that's it. On his channel, he interviews him. It's the same how they portray Tony Tucker in the movies as a right loudmouth madman tearing about. He weren't like that. Apparently he was quite like not quite quiet. You should just sit back and just let everyone else do it. But I suppose to make a movie sound good and to sell the books, like Bernie says, you've got to spice it up a bit. Because even Nipper says when Bernie wanted to write his book, Nipper's book, Bernie wanted to just completely put loads of bullshit in there to spice it up. Because that's what sells. Why did they get killed? The reason? Who knows? No one will ever know. It's probably because I think it's because of the reasons what actually, like in the movie, the bit where they were going to rob the guy for the drugs and they went up that lane to look at that area. I believe that. Then the other geezers found out. And obviously, if you know people are going to iron you out, you become aware of that. You're in that world. And you know how heavy these people are. You're going to iron them out, man. Trust me. You're going to iron them out or disappear, aren't you? And I think that's why they got shot. Bernard, I'll probably get a solicitor's letter next week because I spoke about Bernie on here. But Bernie, he's just full of it. And apparently at Rack House, the nightclub, obviously Bernie's the head doorman, the head of the security, and that girl Ellen, the blonde girl, and she was the barmaid. She was 21, I think, at the time, and she's Essex born and bred, and I believe every word she's saying on her channel, and like she refers to as Bernie as like the monster, proper scary fucker. Just used to scare her, you know what I mean? Scare her. But she does say that Colton, because he worked in there as well, wasn't scary. And I can sort of see that. You go and look at the pictures of Bernie at the club. He just looks like a crazed psycho. And she should know, do you know what I mean? She should know. That's why I think she's told the truth, because if you was to bar people in there, you'd know what the crack is. You'd know what the crack was in there, wouldn't you? Easy. You'd have sussed it all out. And she's quite a streetwise girl, do you know what I mean? She knows what the crack is. Yeah. But I just think it's crazy, guys. Crazy. And I suppose all the time people can make money out of it. The old films will keep on coming out, and the books will keep on rolling out. As for the guy, what's his name? The one that's still in there, he's got dementia or something. They just let him out. Do you know what I mean? I think the sentences were a bit excessive. In defence of the two, it weren't like they ironed out fucking 3 people that was, well, like it was a brutal, callous, you know what I mean, a murder, just like normal murders. It was a sort of gangland murder, the ironing out other criminals. So it weren't like it was innocent people. It was, do you know what I mean? And the sentences were completely excessive. When when you see these pedos and rapists and that getting like 6s and 10s, you get these murderers who are just ironing out other people that was going to iron out then. In reality, a little bit like the Crays and all that kind of back in them days, when it was just like their sentence was excessive for ironing out other criminals. But it's a twisted world we live in, isn't it? But anyway, guys, I'll do another part to this. Also, I've got I'll do that in another video. But anyway, if you've got any theories or questions, then just whop them down. I'm gonna end this one here. But do head over to, what is her name? Ellen Wall. Oh no, not Ellen. What's her thingy bob name? Sasha Wall. Her stage name. But I watched her. She's got a good channel. And she's only just started talking about it. And that's the bar girl, the blonde bar girl. And she's only now, after all these 30 whatever the years, just started chatting about it. Because she never knew, she's just lived her life. She never knew so many people was interested in it. So that's now she started talking. Yeah. And Brian Richardson's channel. No, worth watching. There's also a story on, I keep calling her Ellen, Sasha's channel, that's about this guy Scott from Scotland, who cured stage 4 cancer with cannabis oil. And there's a big sort of, I thought she was just making videos about the Essex side of it, but I think she's a DJ promoter or something, some kind of radio promotions for dance stations on the internet, I think. Yeah, he cured his cancer completely in 4 weeks, I think, or something crazy. But yeah, head over to that channel. So I'm ex-Scotland. Yeah, I see that there's a lot more, Gary. There are investigations into it, aren't there? Because you got, what's that lot that get on Lee's channel from Essex? I forget, what's that channel called, man? I watch it all the time. I can't, my brain's gone. Liquid Bullet Promotions. The guy that's doing is it the Criminal Justice Review Board or whatever they're called, CR whatever, who are looking into the miscarriage of justice. They uncovered a couple of things. But I guess, well, I don't know if anyone will ever know the truth, man. I guess not, really. But I guess it hasn't out with Bernard and all the films and all the spins that have been put on it. But at the end of the day, I don't think that Darren Nichols of Supergrass could make all that up. But then have all the cell site evidence point to that they was all talking to each other at the time in the areas. That's too much of a coincidence. But I do think Darren Nichols of Supergrass might have even been more involved in it than he says. what does he make out? He makes out that he went up there and he got put on the job, but they didn't tell him that what they were actually going to do there. And obviously they've got back in the motor, and the geezer had blood on his face and all that. And that's when he thought, "What the fuck? Do you know what I mean? What have I been doing here?" But I think, oh, the Billy Jasper account. Yeah, that's quite crazy when you look at that. But yeah, that's probably. Yeah, I think the time was. I think the Essex police there, when you're going on about the time, I think that the Essex police did an appalling job. Um, Apparently, I've seen somewhere about a policeman that actually reported it before it was actually reported by the two geezers that come out and found them by the farm gate. But either way, I still think the two that did it are in Nick. You know what I mean? They got the right people. That's what I think. That's just my opinion, man. But everyone's entitled to their own. But I think the criminal world would have grasped them up by now. I think the word would have come out. I think. I don't know. Maybe in like 10 years' time. Nah, 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 that's crazy. I was going to think when the people start passing away that actually did it, maybe then the truth will come out. But yeah, yeah, and Jasper was give his account a long time before all what went on with Nichols, and yeah, so I suppose that's a spanner in the works, but I suppose no one will ever know, man. I suppose no one will ever know, really. Um, but still, it's all very suspicious, all of it, but especially with the police. Um, but then again, are they really going to investigate a murder that well when it's just three criminals that have been took off the plot that was selling drugs everywhere? And do you know what I mean? But I don't know. But obviously, there's other theories that they borrowed the money to get the guns, and then it was off two brothers, and the two brothers wanted their dough back. And do you know what I mean? There's other theories that they did go up into East London, Canning Town, and all around there, and rob people and that. That's all true. Do you know what I mean? You've only got to rob the wrong person now, and you will get wiped out. But and they were doing all that. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose we'll never know. There'll always be another book coming out, or do you know what I mean, or something like that. But who knows? But anyway, I'm gonna get off here. I'll do another one of these ones about the Essex story. But it's quite crazy. Come on, Eileen. Dexter's Midnight Runners. God. Is this heater turned off? Oh, it's quite cold tonight in Kent, guys. Where's my jumper? Let me just do my lace up. Very windy in Kent, very stormy. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the policeman that rang up before. That's very strange. It does stink of corruption, all of it. It's been very poorly investigated, even by standards of them days. But I guess We will never know the real truth. I do think Darren Nichols is probably more involved than even what he says. 300 kilometres. You got the same weather. So I'm just going to put my jumper on. It's absolutely freezing. Very windy. Stormy. It's probably because I've had my fresh skin in. Fresh skinhead last night. It's probably why I'm a bit chilly. Evening in there. How are you doing? Yeah. What they kind of schooled him in what to do and that. Yeah, I've heard that said before, which could be. And the old Bill would do that. Do you know what I mean? But still, who knows? Who knows? I suppose the only people that really know are Tony Tucker, Craig Rolfe, and Pat Tate. I'm all good, cheers, mate. Obscure vinyl. I can hear that wind howling out there now. In fact, I think there's been a tornado somewhere in England, I think. But, in the war, my uncle was in the RAF, and he was only aged. He was a boy, 17, 18, and he was part of Bomber Command. And used to be a navigator in a bomber. That was in World War II. And also in World War II, my granddad, he was in the submarines. Same as my dad. Yeah, we've had a bit of rain. It's calmed down a bit towards this evening, but this afternoon and this morning was horrendous. Yeah, I think they should just let steel out, man. They were all, whether they did it or not, I think the sentences that they've served, and they're still serving, are just outrageous. That amount. When you see these pedos and rapists and that, it's just unbelievable. Must be the crazy timing. My dad used to sit my dad was born in the next road here in the village. And the war ended on my dad's 8th birthday. And he used to sit over and he used to see the Germans coming over. In fact, I posted a picture of some Spitfires going over my house. And he used to watch the RAF going up. So I'm just going to let that word through. So the Dutchman there said what Facebook consider a naughty word, but I will show that because I don't consider that a naughty word. Hopefully that's come up. No, I don't know if it's come up or not. I just pressed the button. Show. Another moderator just handled this. I don't know, I'm the moderator, and I don't know. Not used to all this chat stuff on here. But yeah. These pedos, he's saying. I don't, no, it's not working. Oh, it's come off there now. No, it ain't, it's come back up. I don't know. I'll have to go in my settings, log it off. In jail the lowest scum, indeed. Yet you get sort of robbers and people that have just had a fight doing longer than what these pedos and nonsense and that get. It's unreal. But I don't know. Ooh. Yeah, I've seen some mad stuff in there when I've been locked up. Alright, Hornchurch site, I'm with you. Yeah, it's Essex as well, so he got bombed a lot in the war. But the same as Kent, it's on the way over. Crazy. A lot of bomb sites. I have to take my camera out one day in my village. Yeah, a lot of bomb holes are still there. Because Westmoreland airfield, which was a big, well, it's about a couple of miles up the road from me here. That was sort of the first RAF place that used to come out as they're coming over, like from Dover. My dad said he used to sit up the road watching them. He said you'd hear the Germans go, and then you'd see all the Spitfires go up. Must have been crazy. Yeah, the same. That's the same as around here. They even find them today because what they've done on Westmoreland Airfield, it's now been developed into. It's called King's Hill, a big estate and that now with shops and that. But back in the day, even back when I was a kid, it was an airport. Used to do air shows up there, Westmoreland Air Show. Gary Newman used to go up there in his planes. Back in the 80s, I'm going back to. Yeah, there's probably bombs around here. During the Second World War, story my dad tells me, we used up here. There's a scrapyard there used to be, but used to be a pub called the Broom, and one of those doodle bugs hit that, blew the pub up. Yeah, jail's boring. I think wasting your life. All these kids that, well, to be honest, the kids of today is a different world, isn't it? But yeah, it is a waste of your life. Very boring sitting in there. I found it. Anyway, guys, I'll do another part to this at some point. But do go over to that Sasha's channel. Sasha Wall, I think her channel is called. But I'll let you know. Well, I'll have a look and see, but I think that's what it is. And she's got no reason to bullshit about the Essex case. And obviously, being a barmaid, you go to dispatches as well, and you'll see her when she's 21 talking about it. You'd know everything, wouldn't you? If you was a barmaid in somewhere, you'd know everything. You'd know exactly what the crack was and who's doing what. And she did that. But everyone else has got a motive to make some money out of it all. But yeah, prison in my day was You didn't have no TVs. They give you a bucket to do your, you know what's in. And then you had to slop out, what was called slopping out. Um, Crazy. Um, Obviously now it's all game stations and TVs, which is no punishment really. To be honest with you, it's all too cushy today, man. Do you know what I mean? Prisoners in there crying. If you stuck some of these young offenders and prisoners, stick them into the old school sort of system, they'd all be crying for their mums. But that worked, you know what I mean? Scared the shit out of you. But obviously now it's just another badge on their lapel, isn't it? But I don't know. But the world's changed. Yeah, where the police handlers filling him in, and then he's just stories used to confirm it. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you next time. Whatever you're doing, be lucky.